Hello and welcome everyone. This is Pan Am Racing on Rouge TV. Hope you're all well, having a great weekend. We're about to kick off round number 2 of the mini endurance series that we have running for Pan Am at the moment. About 90 seconds away from free practice, all finishing up and getting ready to kick this one off around Paul Ricard. In the meantime, let's reflect back, shall we? A little bit on the last round. So out at Imola, so the two class winners there, Stu Chen took out the GT3 class after a great battle with Gage Gonzalez, who unfortunately had a late race drive-through penalty for track limits. So he was all set up for a grandstand finish, but unfortunately we weren't able to see that. So Stu Chen ended up taking out a pretty easy win in the end, but a cracking drive from him. It was all class. So great job from Stu Chen, 3 hours of Imola. And the GT4 winner was Curtis Ruston. You can see on the screen there as well. He battled it out with Ryan Valentine all day and ended up taking the class victory there. So in terms of standings, this is what it looks like at the moment. So it's all kind of, it's a bit jumbled up, I guess, because we've got solo drivers. We've got also we've got other drivers as well, like single drivers. We've got teams drivers too. So I'll just go through the top 10 there. So Team Shumi Skins sitting on top. This is the top 10 from before. Pan Am Racing, Goose Motorsport, all hail the great Go Tiffy, Curb Crew Racing, America United Racing, Snack Racing Team, Podium Hunters, Flyboys and Team Super Friends. So that was basically the top 10 from last round for the GT3 class. In terms of the GT4, didn't have as many runners in that one. So you've got Team Iris, so that would be Curtis Ruston, took home the victory. Derived Motorsport, Iceman Autosport, car 1 and 2, and then car number 5, which I don't believe ran. I think there's only 3 runners. Yeah, it looks like there was last time around. So that takes us to today. So we're going to be going around Paul Ricard, or 13 turns, about 5, just a tick over 5.5 kilometres this circuit. So it's the back straight up the back there, the Mistral straight. Lots of overtaking happens along through there. It doesn't have the Grand Prix layout with that little chicane there. So I think it's about 1.2 kilometres, the Mistral straight from memory. And then you've got that technical end part of the end sector, if you like. So sector 1's quite technical, sector 3 is quite technical and punctuated by one long Mistral straight up the back there. So looking forward to this one. Give you a bit of an idea on what times have looked like. And in terms of, you've got one car is sitting up the top there in the number 25 Audi. Stu Chen up there as well, as he was at Imola. Gage Gonzalez, another familiar name. Marlowe, Redfern, Curran. Let's have a look at some of the times that they did. So a 54 flat was fastest in practice. 092. So we're about to get this one underway.
Green light, give it all you can.
Here we go. And so there we go. So to be the first 10 minutes will be the GT4 drivers. So you can see Jimmy is one of those drivers making his way out now, taking out all the cones on his way through. So just having a look for the GT4 drivers. There is Valentine's back again, Ruston, Troxel, and Lucas Luckton. So a few more than the previous round at Imola. I think we only had 3, so we've got 1 or 2 more at this stage, which is nice. Ryan Valentine, he was one of the other drivers. And hopefully might have a co-commentator with me right now as well. Let's see if he's on the line.
I am on the line.
Ah, there you go. Nice. So I'm just going to work this out here. So I'm out of there into there. Alright, I'll share my screen with you. Hang on a second.
Currently working on my own technical difficulties. So
Beautiful. Alright, there we go. So I'm once again joined by Zach. How are you, man? You good?
Yeah, I am.
Excellent. Alright, let's see what these guys have got in store. A few more out there. Rustin out there now. Troxel. It's a nice looking little Alpine there, the GT4. So 4 cars out on circuit right now. They'll get the first 10 minutes of qualifying, and the second 10 minutes of qualifying will be set aside for the GT3s. Decent grid as well. We've got 26 cars in total. Got a few 2-driver teams. Only 2 hours, so it's a bit tricky to do 2 drivers in a 2-hour race, but we'll see how we go. It shouldn't be too dramatic. Just double checking. So I think it's a minimum of 3 stops from memory. I'll just double check all of that for you as well right now. Where are we? Yeah, so 60 minutes, practice, 20-minute qualifying. Yeah, 3 stops. 3 stops today. As we watching Jimmy making his way around. Turn 7 now, and then wind it up. Head up the Mistral Straight. Over 230 kilometres now. We'll see a big speed comparison as well between the GT3s and the GT4s. As we saw in Imola, it'll be a little bit easier, I think, for overtaking today than it was at Imola. We did see a couple of cars make contact. There was a bit of chat about blue flags as well afterwards, as is normally the case. Sorry, just getting myself sorted here. Here we go. Alright, so Jimmy just coming towards the end of his lap right now. We've got 4 cars out on circuit, all GT4s. Only get probably 2 or 3 fast laps in. Makes his way through 12. The main straight now. Let's see what sort of time he shakes out with. 2:05.535. So not a bad start there from Jimmy.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Alright, Ryan Valentine, he's invalidated his lap. Here's Rustin now, making his way through. 2:05.5 was the fastest lap there by Jimmy so far. Zach Troxel, he's invalidated his lap right now as well. So that can be a bit of an issue around here. Definitely with those little yellow, the little rubber flaps that you see on the side there. Alright, so he'll go head off again. Another driver out there is Licton. Those little rubber flaps that I was sort of talking about there, so you go over that, that's exceeding track limits. You get to invalidate your lap there, which you don't want to be doing in such a short qualifying session around a relatively long circuit, so over 5.5 kilometres, 13 corners. It's pretty hefty around here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fun track though. I enjoy Paul Ricard.
I do as well. I can't say that I have a normal racing of it, but I do like watching it.
You sort of you hold your breath for the first sector, then you get a nice little break along the Mistral Straight, and then it's back into a technical part, and there goes Licton, so he goes faster than Jimmy on that lap, who's about to come and complete his next one. He's better than his previous, goes at 2:04.682, so time's starting to ramp up a little bit right now between the GT4 drivers. So Valentine and Troxel yet to set a time. They're both on invalidated laps right now. Valentine coming across the line shortly. Troxel not too far behind him, but we'll focus on Ruston, who took out the class victory last time around at Imola. We'll be hoping to repeat.
It was an absolutely wonderful job.
Yeah, that was awesome work from him. He was scrapping all the way, basically, so good hard-fought victory from him. And so he's gone a last up at 2:07.315. Licton will be the next one. So his best is at 2:05. Ruston's at 2:07, so 2:04.6 to Jimmy in the number 69 Mercedes. Signature pink setup, pink livery. We're watching Licton just making his way now through turn 12.
I always find it so fun watching these GT4 cars, like I said previously. It always leads to tighter times, and of course the drivers are usually more used to GT3, so they can't quite throw the car around, so it's how you adapt to smaller corners at lower speeds and how you're able to work without the downforce.
Yeah, it's it requires a different style, doesn't it?
Oh, certainly.
So Licton goes top of the times, 2:04.280, so not a bad lap from him.
Definitely pulling through.
Yeah, so here's Jimmy. What can he do? He doesn't improve, so he's 2:04.560, so almost 3/10 the difference between P1 and P2 for the GT4s right now. Valentine.
Like, you might have the ability to close this lap, however.
Yeah, well, I think we've only got 1:10 left in the session, so that might be it for Jimmy. Here's Valentine. This will be his first time lap. Goes up into P3 amongst the GT4s, so 2:06.6. Ruston, he doesn't improve, so he remains in P4 there. And then Troxel, he's out on the lap right now, but he is invalid right now. He's got a red mark next to his name, so indicating the lap is invalid right now. So we should see the GT3 starting to make their way out on circuit very, very shortly. With only 30 seconds left in this session here. As we're watching Licton just making his way through 13. Sorry, 10. So I've got a different map here for different parts. So it's this is our class leader right now in terms of the qualifying. As the GT3s starting to all make their way out on circuit right now. This time will count. I think it's going to be a little bit slower than his best, so he doesn't improve. He does remain on top though. Here's Jimmy. He's on a valid lap. See if he can beat that time. No. So it was Licton taking out the GT4. So a 2:04, 2:80. I'll quickly change that, and then we got all the GT3s now making their way out for this short, sharp 10-minute quali. So they'll probably get a couple of hot laps in, and then that's it at the moment before we kick off in 2 hours. Redfern, Big Brain Racing, 74 McLaren, Shu Chen, sorry. Last round race winner, tried to get his skin this time, but still couldn't quite get it from Awesome Sim Racing, so hopefully we'll have it for the next one. So just to give everyone a quick reflection, so Licton was the GT4 class leader, Jimmy, Valentine and Rustin. That's your top 4 right there. I see Vatic is in there now, he's in the chat as well. Blood Flores in the number 14 Lexus. There's Barrentes out there. Liam Hinman, it's a nice looking livery for Curb Crew Racing, Vodafone. Waniga, we've got his livery this time around, the Barks Root Beer. You said you like that root beer, Zach. Zach, maybe he's not there. Oh, power just went out. Okay. Okay. Alright. So it looks like he's having some technical difficulties right now, so hopefully he can get that sorted. In the meantime though, who is out there? So let's go to Waniga. We saw him before. These guys will begin their qualifying laps now. I think Marlowe might be the first one. In fact, he'll be leading the pack in the Porsche, the 549 Flyboys entry. Aston Martin there in the background. I think that's Lucas. It might be Lucas Keys. I think. I don't think he raced in the last one. So the fastest time in free practice was 1:54. Let's see if we can get anywhere near that with this first lap around. So Matthew Marlowe for Flyboys is going to set the time everyone's going to aim for. 1:54.947, so a good start from him. Here comes Redfern. We've got Hinman making his way through now. Santos will be another one in the 177 Ferrari. Scuderia T-Rex Racing Team. He sets his time. Here's Palin for Online Racing Collective. The number 20 Audi goes up into P7. I was trying to get to that Mercedes, but I missed it. Here's Foddy. Oh, here's Chris Rice in the number 21. Let's see what sort of time he can set. But it's Gage Gonzalez who's gone to P1. 1:53.580. So cracking time already from him. Here's Jeff Fody from McLaren Racing, the 88. This will be his first time. Makes his way across the line. Goes up into P12 for now. Driver out there, yeah, Lucas Keys, as I was referring to before, it was him, and the number 22 Aston Martin NOD Racing Team. And we're chasing Gage Gonzalez though, 1:53.580. It's a short, sharp 10-minute qualifying session, setting the grid for 2 hours of Paul Ricard. Round number 2 of the mini endurance series is what it's been termed as. Coming towards the end of his lap now, Lucas Keys. Let's see, shake out P3. So cracking start from him. Hinman heading to the line. Moves up into P4. So another good start from him. Here's the car I was trying to get earlier, Caleb Craig. So he is teamed up with Ivan McCroat. These guys had a really good race last time out at Imola. Let's see where they can shake out. P7 for now. Good start from them. Here's Kenneth Smith. He will improve ever so slightly, not in position. Here's Liam Curran. So he took out P3 in Imola. Let's see what he's got in the number 43. Aston Martin moves up into P5, so good start from him. Here's Fody. He's in 15th right now. The number 88 McLaren. He's 6/10 up on his best time. Starting to move into the business end of this qualifying session with a tick over 3 minutes remaining. They're all chasing Gage Gonzalez, who's out there right now on an invalidated lap as Fody moves up into P13. Who else is out there? Here's Shu Chen in the 117 McLaren. It's a McLaren 1-2, followed by Ferrari, Audi, Aston, BMW. So a good mixture of manufacturers already in the top 10. So good to see that. Nice even spread. And we've got the GT4s in there as well. So once again, nice healthy grid. I'll go through the 2 driver teams and the single driver team shortly, but we'll focus on Shu Chen, a round 1 winner from Imola. His best is a 53.6, so 22 hundredths of a second away from Gage Gonzalez, who's also out there right now. Hopefully we get to see them re-engage in their battle. It was entertaining at Imola a couple of weeks ago. Hoping they can repeat the dose here at Paul Ricard as Shu Chen goes to the top of the times. So great start from him. He'll be one of the front runners. Here's Santos in the 177 Ferrari. A couple of tenths up, moves up into P10 for now. Here's Craig in the Get Speed Mercedes. Minute 50 remaining in this qualifying session. He moves up into P3. That's a good place to be with less than 2 minutes remaining. Smith doesn't improve, not enough to move up in the times. Gage Gonzalez has invalidated his lap, so just keeping an eye on him as we go around. Here's Chris Rice. He's not going to improve on his time. Neither will Lud Flores. They were on invalid laps. Gage Gonzalez is not on an invalid lap. It was Shu Chen, sorry, my mistake. So here's the number 13 I Hate Ranch entry from Gage. 2 tenths up on his best time. If he holds his pace, he will take pole position. And with just a tick over a minute left, Shu Chen is out there, so he might get another crack at this, and he has missed out. So Gonzalez remains in P2 in the dying stages.
Not quite able to get it on that lap. Sorry, guys, for the interruption on my commentary. The power decided to go out, but we are back.
Beautiful. Here's Vadik. So it's a nice entry livery there. Here's Lucas Keys. He's 4 tenths up on his best time. That would get him pretty close to the front of the field with 30 seconds remaining. It's the place that you want to be as he makes his way towards the line here.
Certainly a second within would definitely be close enough for an opportunity.
Yep, so he moves on to the second row of the grid. P3 for Lucas Keys. Santos just a little bit of traffic in the way. I'm not too sure if that was Shu Chen or not, who has 6 seconds to make his way to the line to start another lap. Santos remains in P10. This is Redfern, number 74 McLaren. Don't have a livery for that one, unfortunately, today either. So hopefully we can get it for the next one. Kenneth Smith, P12. Let's go to Gage Gonzalez though. So Shu Chen did make it across the line, so he's on a valid lap right now. A 53.362 is his time. Gonzalez, a couple of tenths off that right now. We've gone 000. We've got a minute and a half max waiting time. We've got no issues with that. Gonzalez is a couple of tenths up on his best time right now. That would be enough to take it away from Shu Chen, who is on a lap behind him. So here's Gonzalez now onto the line. If he can hold this time, he does. He goes to pole position. Great work.
Absolutely wonderful job by Gage.
Here's Vadik. So he got to the session pretty late by the looks of things. P19 right now, 56.392. Looks like he will improve on that time. thought that he did. Looks like he did, but not enough to move up a position. Waniger is out there as well. Got a little bit of traffic from the BMW up ahead of him. So he's got that to contend with. Xu Chen
Making his way around.
Yeah.
See if he's able to close that time.
Yeah, not far behind these two drivers. That's Hinman, I believe, in the 78. He's on a hot lap as well. So these guys are fighting for the same bit of bitumen at the same time. So once they cross the line, we'll just see where they shake out. Waniger goes up into P3 as we go across to Xu Chen. Can he take pole position away from Gage Gonzalez? I don't think he can. He doesn't.
No, not quite.
So there you go. Gage Gonzalez with the pole time there. A 1:53.155. So significantly, almost a second
Absolutely
faster.
Wonderful time.
Yeah, almost a second faster than we saw in the free practice session. So congrats to this man here, Gage Gonzalez. Takes out pole position.
Always so fun watching him race, honestly.
Yeah, so hopefully we get a nice battle between him and Chen again. Waniger in there, Lucas Keys. So up there in P4, starting from the second row of the grid. Craig, Carres, Curran, Hinman, Marlowe and Santos. And in terms of the GT4s, it was Lucas Lichten who took the P1 for the GT4s, followed by Jimmy, Valentine, Russin and Troxel. And then, a couple of GT3s there at the end, P25 and 26, Jonathan Garcia and Phil Brown down there as well. So that's our grid for the 2 hours of Paul Ricard for the mini round 2, the mini endurance series. We'll be back very, very shortly. Take a quick break and be back in a couple of minutes. All right, we're back, everyone. So let's take a quick look at
Welcome
the grid.
back.
Yeah, so solo driver Gage Gonzalez, P1. Xu Chen, he's another solo driver starting from P2 on the grid. Caleb Waniger, he'll be starting from P3, another solo driver. And then Lucas Keys will be doing this one solo as well, in from P4. Caleb Craig and Ivan McQuote in the number 369 entry starting from P5. Matt Artem and Juan Carres. Had a really, really good race last time at Imola. Had some late race issues, but hopefully that doesn't
Love watching the two of them watch.
Yeah, no, great stuff from them.
Race.
Liam Curran, starting from P7. He's another solo driver. Liam Hinman and Noah McComa, the number 78 entry, starting from P8. Matthew Marlowe and Chris Brown, number 549 Porsche for Flyboys, starting from 9th. Rogero Santos, he's a solo driver in 10th position. Matt Redfern and Warren Wilcock The number 74 entry starting from 11th for Big Brain Racing. Kenneth Smith and Richard McSharpenberry. They'll be starting from P12 in the Lamborghini. The 777. Marco Vasquez Barrentes, the GT3 in the Audi 424. He'll be starting from 13th. Another solo driver, Andre Lloyd in 14th. I like that. Have a look at that. It's like a Halo style livery. That's pretty cool. I like it. Felix Palin, another solo driver in the Audi, number 20, starting from 15th. Fody in the 88. He's starting from 16th. 17th is Lud Flores. Chris Rise, 18th. 19th is Vadik. 20th is Lucas Licton. So this is the start of the GT4s. I'm Not Jimmy and Brad Lee, starting from 21st, but second in class. Ryan Valentine doing it solo again in 22nd. 23rd is Curtis Rustin solo. Zach Troxel for the GT4s in the Alpine, and then Jonathan Garcia and Phil Brown bringing up the rear in P26. So all of those were solo drivers. So I think we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 driver teams, and the rest are all solo. So
just as a note, we also have 5 GT4 teams.
There we go. Beautiful. We've got all the stats, we've got all the figures, everything's set to go. Our grid is ready and rolling, and we're not far from getting this one started. Do you have any predictions, Zach? What are your thoughts so far?
Well, I did love Gage's racing against Shu Chen that last race 2 weeks ago, and I'm really interested to see, they're both in the same car, so seeing who's able to utilize it better. I think what's going to be the telling difference is especially the start of the laps and then all of these little corners that they have to maneuver at the beginning. I think we'll be looking at a lot of passing opportunities, but I also think it's going to be a stalemate between those two for a while.
Yeah, I like the passing opportunities comment as well. That's definitely relevant around this circuit. I think this sort of lends itself a little bit more to endurance racing as opposed to Imola, where it's a lot more compacted. We've got big fields as well and multi-class. It's probably, racing can be a little bit delicate, if you like, probably one way to put it. So yeah, looking forward to this one though.
100%. And then I always love watching Lucas Keys and Liam Kern. They're always a lot of fun to watch along with Matt Artem. Yeah, those guys are going to be a lot of fun to watch. And in terms of weather is set to follow optimum.
Same conditions of the real life weather predictions for the areas. In this case, I think it's the south of France this track's located in. Mandatory pit stops. There's 3 pit stops required in the 2 hours. So tyres are optional. Fuel is required. Driver swap is optional. No pit window, no stint timer, no max driving time either. So we're all ready. Weather looks good right now. A bit of cloud cover, but truck's at optimum.
It'd be interesting with the no max stint time what the dual drivers end up doing for their racing strategy, because that ended up playing a really large effect in Imola. Yeah,
well, Brews are actually doing a little mini enduro themselves, 2 hours on the console, and it was brought up as a 2-hour race, and it was actually the point was raised that if there's no driver stint time, what's to stop from the stronger driver doing 90% of the work, and then the weaker driver only doing sort of less. So I think it's all about, I guess it's all about the spirit of what you want to do.
I also think I don't think some of the drivers here would do that.
No.
Be more balanced,
Yeah. No, definitely wasn't suggesting any of that. It was just, I think that's...
No.
Yeah. There's no sheep stations up for grabs here, as we like to say in Australia.
Let's watch the...
All right.
Looks like they're coming around finally.
So here's the grid, all formed up. Not far away from getting round number 2, 2 hours of Paul Ricard. There's our full grid. The GT4 guys at the back just want to tidy up a little bit. There's the signal, Looks like that
And
Porsche. Yeah, looks like Marlowe got a good little jump there as well. So did Craig in the pink Mercedes, but it's Gonzalez going to lead him into turn 1 here. Chen's going to follow him in. Keys looks like he's got a good start. That's the Ferrari up the inside there. Looks like they've all managed to get through.
Really putting the pressure on Gage.
Oh, Hinman's had a bit of an issue there. Rejoin on the track. Looks like everyone's managed to get through.
Just past Gage Gonzalez.
Yeah, everyone's managed to get through nice and cleanly.
Point.
Chen runs a little bit deep there, but he's taken the lead. So Shu Chen in P1 right now. You got Waniger in there. Lucas Keys maintained his P4. Marlowe's dropped a spot to Juancarez in P6 and 7. Hinman's dropped back as well. Vadic's made some good moves already early in this one. But out in front as they head up the Mistral Straight for the first time today.
Just look like Gage is making a bit of time on the straight.
Yeah, and looks like he is going to make the pass. Going to be able to
Just
get it done.
Neck and neck. Going a little deep into the turn though.
Yeah, Chen had the inside line. Gonzalez
Gage
had to
off
run
the track.
Yeah, had to run very wide. This is a good battle already between
Caleb
these
Weniger's
two.
following all three.
Yeah. So Gonzalez and Chen not holding back at all to begin the start of this one.
Only a 0.3 second gap between the top two right now, and then a 0.3 second gap between Waniger and Gonzalez, keeping it really tight here.
We've got a couple of issues at the back there. Vasquez Barrentes and Santos. Yeah.
Driven off track.
As they all come across the line for the first time, complete the first lap. And it's going to be Chen who's going to lead them away. Craig coming into the pits. Yeah, so that's about. Doesn't look like he has any damage, so definitely looks unscheduled at this stage. See if he hands over to his teammate or not. Not too sure what's going on with them, but out in front, it's Chen leading from Gonzalez.
He's just building up on Waniger, looking like he's trying to set himself up for a pass.
Yeah,
Gage is holding steady.
Yeah, Keys all over the back of Waniger here. Comes out of that final turn before the straight, turn 7. It's pretty much a flat out left hand kink. Trying to make up some ground on the Ferrari.
Looks like Keys is making that time up on the Ferrari there. See what happens on this next corner. Definitely be telling. Hopefully neither of them take it deep, like we saw in that first lap.
Flores
both holding tight.
Yeah.
Also looks like Gage Gonzalez is holding, closing the gap down to 0.2. Right on Shu Chen.
Yeah. And then Flores battling it out with Hinman down there in 9th and 10th between those two. The Lexus versus BMW. BMW wins the battle for now. We've got Kenneth Smith there just following as well.
Neck and neck right now.
It was. Right with this still. So Lamborghini there will off Smith, the 777. Gonna get in on the action there. Just out in front though, it's still these two. So Chen and Gonzalez continue to battle away. That's that Team McLaren, the 88 there, just in the almost like coming out of the pits almost. Not too sure what he's doing there as they all file through here.
Looks like Rise is building up on a passing opportunity as well, trying to build himself up on Lloyd.
So Lucas
Losing
Keys
a little bit of time there.
Yeah, so Keys still trying to work away at the back of the Ferrari of Waniger in P3 there. This has definitely settled down. Still have all 26 runners. Curtis Ruston makes his way out of the pits, so very early pit stop from him. And then the 369
Looks like
and
Gage is neck and neck right now with Shu Chen, actually passing Shu Chen, Gage in first.
here we go up the Mistral Straight, and
Does look like Gage has a faster straight time than Chen.
yeah, nice work from
See if
Gateman's
he's
side.
able to hold it through this corner. This is where he lost it last time. Chen going a little bit wide. Absolutely loving the battle between these two.
Yeah, able to hold it. So, new race leader, Gage Gonzalez, a familiar position, and we're already getting a nice little scrap between these two, P1 and P2. Keys has just dropped off ever so slightly from the back of Waniga. Curran, on the other hand, is all over the back of Marlowe, who's hunting down Juan Carres in P5. So, in
Down
terms
on
of
the GT4 straight with Lichten and Valentine in 19 and 20th. It looks like Valentine is trying to set himself up for a pass on Lichten. Neck and neck down on the GT4s.
just at the end of the straight there. These two making their way through.
Vasquez just passed Garcia.
Yeah, that's Garcia having a bit of an issue there. I wonder how that came.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go for
wonder-
yellow flag.
Ah, yeah. So he's having some difficulties already. As we go back to live pictures very, very shortly.
Does look like
And we're
Smith is
back.
about to pass Flores. Or trying to. 0.2 second gap between the two. Does look like Smith has the faster time over Flores, but we'll see if he's able to hold it while Flores is defending. Got a pit stop by Garcia. Not entirely sure why.
Yeah, maybe that's related to that issue that he had. I'm not too sure if that was a teleport back to the pits. But back to the action. This is Lloyd having a look at Vatic. Up the Mistral straight. We go on board with the Porsche driver, the 937. It's a nice little toe there. Pulls out of the draft.
Edge and edge.
Not able to do it this time. The Porsche not necessarily known for its horsepower. What's happened to Kenneth Smith? He's run wide.
Looks like almost a little bit of a bump between Lloyd and... I will politely not pronounce her name.
Yeah, no, that's Vatic. That I don't try to pronounce that.
Got it. Yep.
That surname. Just back out in front though. We'll flick over to the action. It's half a second the difference between Gonzalez and Chen. They've opened up a bit of a gap, as you can see there from the rest of the group. Lucas Keys looks like he's making a pit stop. So this might be strategy. It's 3 mandatory stops, so you get one out of the way nice and early, and then work yourself back up through the field. So yeah, I think a little bit of strategy already being played out here in terms of drivers making their earlier pit stops. And as I mentioned, it is a track where you can deal with traffic a little bit better. It's not as congested.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, as a place like...
Yeah, the turns look significantly wider than Imola was.
Yeah.
Lloyd does look like he's trying and will almost be taking a pass here on Vatic. You're just neck and neck. Lloyd is trying to accelerate, pull through those corners. Absolutely wonderful driving from the Porsche.
Alright, so we're going to have another crack at it here. Let's see if he can make good on this time around. McLaren's certainly got a bit of toe in it. Looks like he's got a really good run here. Pulls out of the draft. They're going to go side by side now. That's Chris Rise just in the background between these two. So the number 21 Porsche. He'll be trying
Definitely
to
looking to catch any remains that come up, see if there's any.
Not quite. So Lloyd has to keep an eye on Rice behind, who made up a bit of ground. Looks like he was a little bit squirrely under
A
brakes
little
there
bit
as well.
wide from the three of them as well.
Yeah.
Lloyd right on the tail. Taking the inside just a bit more. Getting Porsche holding the inside, neck and neck again.
It's a great battle. Here's Rice.
Absolutely wonderful.
So, and then you've got the 777 Lamborghini belonging to Kenneth Smith there, just in the background too. So he's looking to take advantage of any scraps that might fall his way. In the meantime,
Vatic actually playing this wonderful defensively.
he's doing a great job right now, Vatic. So holding off a hard charging Andre Lloyd for Black Ghost Motorsports, number 937 entry. So they all file through turn 1. Still at the front of the field, it's Gonzalez leading from Chen. Last lap around, Gonzalez did a 54.160. Chen did a 54.330. So it's an idea of lap times. They're the only
Still
two.
only a 0.7 second gap.
Yeah.
Wayneker has actually dropped off to a 5-second gap. And just a short comment on Wayneker. His description is Barks root beer, and I have to completely agree with that statement. Does also look like Curran is pulling up on Marlowe here on the straight.
Yeah. Here we
Going
go.
through, Curran line rising to 5th.
Doing there. So we're seeing the Porsches able to pull up alongside, but not quite get the move done right now at the end of the Mistral straight. As Lloyd, this little battle group going on here between Vatic, Lloyd, and Rise. Smith looking to enter himself into the conversation as well as Rise looking to go up the inside. These three have been going at it for a couple of laps now. Good, hard, close racing between the three of them. As Redfern able to get the move done on Hinman, so moves himself up into P7, the number 74 McLaren. Do you want to give us an update, Zach? Oh, as we, Vatic, oh, they make contact. Out of the final turn now. Lloyd trying to muscle his way past Rise. Looking to take advantage of the two squabbling in front of him as they head up the main straight. Chris Rise.
A little bit of contact. If you saw it back there too.
And up the inside, Lloyd. They make contact again.
Contact. Driven to the inside. Definitely a corner cut there.
And Vatic.
Definitely a hard push between these four.
It's good driving from Vatic though. Kind of readdressed that. And then he's lost the spot to Lloyd now.
Exactly. Smith, the Lamborghini, just holding steady behind these three. Not really breaking pace, but just keeping back. Probably looking to see if there's any more contact, but definitely evening out now. Looks like Hinman just passed Redfern on the straight.
Yep, he did. So they swap positions once again. Let's go back to this battle. So here's Vatic now. His turn to sit in the slipstream, try and take advantage. He's going to go up the inside. Chris Rise going to go around the outside. It's 3 wide at one stage there. Vatic cuts across. He takes back the position. Exciting
Wonderful
driving.
Inside turn there.
Yeah, great driving from all three drivers involved there. Kenneth Smith just sitting back right now, taking it all in. Gonzalez opened up the gap a little bit more now, about 4/10, so 1.1 seconds the difference between him and Chen at the front of the field.
Just as a note, just an update on the GT4. We got Lucas Lichten currently in first of GT4. Then we have Ryan Valentine in second, and then we have I'm Not Jimmy currently in third. Then Zach Strotzel in fourth, with Curtis Rustin.
Oh, Vatic had a little bit of contact there, just at the final turn, him and Lloyd, and he ducks into the pits to make his stop. So Curran was already in there as well, so we're seeing the strategy already playing out in the early stages of this one. But that was a little bit of contact between Lloyd and Vatic there. And we've got another little pack forming between Carres, Marlowe and Hinman. Just doing a quick scan. So Curran has made a stop. Let's have a quick look. So Keys, Curran, Craig, Vatic, Santos, Fody and Rustin all have made early stops. So it's 3 mandatory stops required in this race.
It's very interesting to me because I feel like they're almost losing out on a tire change later on in the race, especially when they are going out at harder. That's just my thoughts on it. But
yeah, well, we'll see how it all plays out in the end, I think. Yeah,
it's only 15 minutes in.
Yep. 2 hours can generally fly by pretty quick though. So
Oh yes.
it may seem like a long time, but 2 hours can go by pretty fast when it comes to sim racing once you get all involved. We're watching Marlowe and Carres. So one Carres in the number 25 Audi being hunted down by Marlowe in the Flyboys entry. And they've got Hinman just tucked in behind them in the number 78 BMW. In terms of lap times as well, so Gonzalez lapping in a 54.8, Shan a 54.6, and then they're the only two drivers in the 54. So a class of their own right now, Gonzalez and Chen. It's a second the difference between those two, P1 and P2. And then Waniger, he's 11 seconds
Looks like we
now.
have a
back.
yellow flag from Vatic.
Yeah, let's have a look at what happened there.
Not entirely sure.
Oh,
Also, as a note, Flores and Rise have actually gained 9 places since the start of the race, with Brown leading with 13 places gained.
Where are you, Vatic? So, I think that's an equipment issue.
Yeah.
He is pulling over to the side. That might be race done for Vatic, unfortunately.
He was just in the comments earlier, so we'll see if he's able to
Just
give us a little update.
didn't have any power. So we'll get back to action on the track and just keep an eye on him as we get back to Carres and Carres and Marlowe. Vatic's still there on track.
See Jimmy making way for the GT3s flying by. Looks like Marlowe's holding with a 0.4 second gap. Carres has a 0.8 to Waniger, and Hinman is right behind Marlowe with 0.5. Waniger is definitely going to be holding out a bit as Carres slowly catches up to him. It does look like it's pretty even between the 4 contestants here. No real passing opportunities yet. Does look like Smith is also pulling up on Rise. We'll see if he's able to get away with any passing. Smith is actually the faster last lap time. We're down to 1/3 of a second. It's looking like he might be able to pull away on the straight, but we'll see. Still have that yellow flag from Vatic. Not entirely sure what's happening there. Smith holding along the straight. Not quite able to get the pass by Rise. Half a second gap now. Back to Carres, who's building up on Waniger, going from 0.8 to a 0.4 second gap. We're down to the straight again. Does look like Carres is catching up just a bit here on the straight, so will he be able to hold that through? It also looks like Hinman is doing the same with Marlowe. Carres down to a 0.2 second gap. They both take the corner, both of them taking it really well. Now they're going in deep, narrowing the gap even more down. Carres definitely looking like he's going to try and set up a passing opportunity here on one of these corners. Almost getting it. Does look like Smith just took Rise. Looks like it just happened on the straight here. Vasquez holding firm on to Rise. 0.2 second gap there, so he's probably looking to see if he can take another pass. Rise not taking that corner quite as fast as he could. Carres holding on. Vasquez looking like he wants to retake that position in 10th place. Rise holding 10th place though. As a note, Gage Gonzalez still holding now holding a 1.5 second gap between him and Chen. He does have a faster last lap by 0.4 seconds.
So a little bit of traffic there as well, just dealing with Licton, who has these guys to go through without any dramas. Vatic is
Clifton also.
yeah, Vatic is still there, so
Yeah.
not too sure.
Clifton's still holding first in GT4 as a note.
And so yeah, the GT3 is just starting to already lap the GT4s. Valentine. Oh, what's happened, Ryan Valentine? Let's have a look here on the replay. A couple of GT3s coming through. Oh, a little bit of contact and
just a bit right into the wall.
Ooh, that's a big hit.
Yes.
And what about Santos? What's happened to him? By himself here. And yeah, back end just going around. Just a quick little flick spin, and away he goes. And back to the group at the front there. Waniger, P3, car is 4th, and Marlowe 5th. So half a second covering these 3 cars right now. Gonzalez continues to lead this one. Last lap around a 55 flat. Chen did a 54.7. It's 1.2 seconds the difference between those two, but you can see you can throw a blanket over these 3 cars right now for 3rd, 4th and 5th. So it's a Ferrari, Audi and Porsche battle going on. Hinman will be wanting to try and get in there as well in the BMW, and then the number 74 entering the McLaren in the background that belongs to Redfern. And yeah, a nice little scrap going on right now for the final podium.
This looks like Marlowe's trying to build up with Cares. 4th and 5th place. It's right on his tail, along with Cares being on Waniger's. Hinman. Been a constant battle between these 4.
In terms of lap time, so Waniger 56.8 in the last lap around. Cares a 56.6. And Marlowe was the fastest of the 3 at 55.9. So nice significant margin as well on that last lap. Having a look on board with Marlowe right now. Through the fast right-hander. Turn 8 signs. Corner name on that one.
Right on the wing of Marlowe as well.
Yeah. Track's still at optimum, so 23 degrees air and track temperature.
Looked like we just had a GT4 pass between Foddy and Brad Lee. Does look like we had a driver switch for Jimmy.
Yeah, so Jimmy started the race. We're having a look at the replay here. Brad Lee. Has he managed to get past here? No, I've caught it too late. Vasquez Barrentes now all over the back of Chris Rice, so this is for 10th and 11th right now.
Definitely pushing him.
And so
Care's also on the back of Waniger for the straight. A little bit of a larger gap between Vasquez and Rice, though.
nice to them. Very, very short. Oh, he gets a snap oversteer off the final turn there, and that was Chris Rice. Yep, making his way into the pits. So 3 mandatory stops required for this one. We've got a car stopped out on the track right now. Doesn't include their mandatory stop. That's Vatic. So he hasn't moved for about sort of 5 minutes or so now. Not too sure what is happening with him at this stage. As Lloyd and Vasquez Barrentes is going to get the move done here. Goes up the inside. So go through turn 4 into turn 5. Oh, they make contact. And Vasquez Barrentes just loses out there in that one. I'll head up the main straight. Liam Curran, so he has made a stop already. He's chasing down Palin, who hasn't stopped. So Liam Curran, he was on the podium last time out in Imola. Ducks out of the slipstream there on the Audi. Winds up the big V8 in the Aston Martin. Looking to go down the inside. and gets the move done. So nice work there to Lam Curran, the number 43 entry. And he gets the position sorted. It's happened to Vasquez Barrentes. Oh, he's gone around, caught right at the end of that one. Let's see what happened here. So he was in the draft. And does he get a little bit too wide? No. Oh, I think he just had to pull out of it there. And around he goes. And we're back to live pitches. As Kara's now still all over the back of Waniga. Hinman's fallen behind a little bit as Marlowe, he's made his way in the pits, so he was part of that group earlier on. So he's now in the pits. And then back to Carres and Waniga. So the gap out in front between Gage Gonzalez, our race leader, there he is on screen, and Xu Chen in the background there. So 1.3 seconds the gap between these two. Two McLarens. It's McLaren 1-2 right now. What's happened to Marlowe? Oh, Marlowe came out of the pits, so he rejoins in P12. And then back at the battle for P3 and P4. Do you want to give us a bit of an update on the GT4, how that's all shaping out, Zach?
Love to. Just look like Lichten is holding tight onto that first place. Currently have a large, looks like 30-second gap between some of these GT4 cars here. Second place being Foddy, but he just had a yellow flag. I'm not entirely sure what happened there.
Yeah, that was
along with Brown.
And yeah, Foddy in the 88 as well. Car 73 disqualified from the race for driving backwards. That's Vadik.
Ooh.
Yeah, disqualified by race control. So he's out of the race. He was sitting there. He'd been sitting there for quite a while now. So back to
what happened to him. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say. So back to just the GT4 rundown that you're doing.
Yeah. So it does look like Bradley and Foddy do have a closer gap compared to the rest of the GT4s, but it does look like a 30-second gap average between the 5 of them. We have Rustin at very last place with a minute gap to Troxel. Troxel has a minute gap to Bradley. Bradley is following relatively closely behind Foddy with a 5-second gap. Foddy has an 11-second gap to Valentine, and then Valentine has a 41-second gap between him and Valentine.
Beautiful. All right, good job. Pending penalties for 73 cleared by race control. All right, so that's all sorted. Maybe Vadik will get in the chat and let us know what happened to him there.
It's like Brown just went into pits. I'm sure that's his first pit.
That is his first stop. Yeah, that's Vadik in the pits there. That's where he's ended up. This is Redfern chasing down Hinman. So this is for 5th and 6th. Two of the closest cars on circuit right now.
Rising into 14th due to the pit over Brown. It's really evened out with only about, say, 9-second gap between all the racers, especially with the outliers of Flores and Craig. But I think overall, say about a 9-second gap between them all. Definitely some closer ones out of second.
Yeah, so we're almost a quarter of the way through, and just having a look at pit stops. So Lucas Keys has made 2 stops already. So he's sitting down there in 15th position. He's the only driver that's made 2 stops already. Everyone else has made either none or 1. Craig in the 369 entry is one of those. Rise, Brown, Santos, Vasquez Barrentes, Foddy. So all of those drivers have taken an early stop in this one. But yeah, the only driver to stop twice so far right now is Lucas Keys down there in 15th position.
Really interesting place. It just looked like Brown is finally out of pits. Out of it at 18th. It looks like Kares is now catching Flanagan. It looks like we have... Never mind, that was a pit from Wood. Also a pit from Halen. Letting Kerr and Marlowe go free up into 9th and 10th place. Does look like we have Foddy passing Valentine down at the 21st and 22nd, but I'm fairly sure Foddy is a GT3.
Yeah, Foddy, yeah, is that the 88? Yeah. That's a GT3 McLaren.
We have Cares and Redfern. Redfern is building up on Hinman, and Cares is now building up again on Waniger. Definitely a closer race between these two. Waniger having a 20-second gap between him and Chen, and then Chen and Gage having a 2.5-second gap.
So just Vatic, the ignition shut off and my key wasn't registering my input or something, so I couldn't restart the engine. So unfortunately for him, his ignition shut off and couldn't get it restarted, hence he wasn't moving. So unfortunate for him. So at this stage of the race, so we're at the quarter way mark, so it's Gonzalez leading the way. He's in front of Xu Chen, so 2.6 seconds right now, the gap between Chen and Gonzalez. And you got Waniger in third, fourth is Carres, Lindman in fifth, Redfern in sixth, Flores in seventh, eighth Smith, Curran in ninth, and then Marlowe in 10th. So that's your top 10 right now. In terms of the rises and falls, I think we've got Gonzalez spun, so he's gone around there. This is very rare to see. Let's see what happened. Oh, that's Rustin just ahead of him, and a little bit of contact by the looks of it, possibly. Yeah, and he's gone around.
Gage down to second.
Yeah, so that was Chen.
Still has space between him and Waniger.
Yeah, so at the quarter way mark, so a little bit of contact there. I think it looked like with Rustin, and has cost Gonzalez the lead. So Xu Chen is now leading this one in the 117 McLaren. Waniger
Gage right back on track though.
Yeah, so it doesn't look, I don't think he would have got too much damage by the looks of things, so nothing that would be extremely detrimental to him anyway. So Chen leading this one. I was just about to go through the rises and fallers. Lud Flores has had a great start. He started 17th. He's currently in P10 right now.
Wonderful rising from him. It looks like Cares is trying to build up another pass to Waniger's. Very tight racing between the two, and then Key's also building up on Palin finally. Definitely been a gap between them, about a second, but looks like he might also be making a pass right on the wing right now in 15th place.
So here he is. This is 14th and 15th. So Lucas Key's made 2 stops already.
He's trying to doing a very good job building up as well. Also looks like we have Harris and Redfern finally went to pits. Hinman rising to 4th place. 2-second gap between him and Waniger. So him and Waniger, Shen and Gage, none of them have made their first pits yet.
So here's Keys. Looks like he's able to get this move done on Palin. Palin's not going to give it up without a fight. And Keys able to slot through there, so he moves up into P14. That was a nice overtake from him. Bit of action going on in the pits right now. Redfern's in there. Flores is coming in as well. So drivers making their stops. And as you pointed out, Zach, so we've got Waniger, Chen, Gonzalez, the top 3. So Chen, Gonzalez, Waniger, top 3. They haven't made any of their stops yet. It looks like Licton, Brad Lee, and the other ones that haven't made at least one stop. Lucas Key is the only one who's made 2 stops so far.
Down in 10th through 11th place, there was a bit of position swapping. Craig passing Redfern.
Yep, so he moves up there into P9. 16.8 seconds behind this driver here. This is Juan Carres.
Hinman also making a lot of time up between him and Waniger. 2 seconds just a couple moments ago. Now it's down to a second.
So maybe
he's also building up on Lloyd again.
So that's Redfern, and then Hinman. This was the gap between him and Waniger. Now that car in front, though, that's Vasquez Barrentes, I believe, in the Audi, the 424. So he's a bit of a cork in the bottle right now. Yep. And here's Keys getting the move done on Lloyd. Yep. So he takes another
it through on the straight.
Yeah, so he takes another position, moves up into P13. Be very interesting to see his progress from here on in with one more stop to go. Hour and 24 minutes left.
Notably, Gage making up a 1.5 seconds to Chen, down to a 4.8 second gap from a 6 second gap.
Last lap around a 55.6 to Chen, a 54.7 to Gonzalez. So lapping in the 54s. Doesn't have any traffic ahead of him. So we go back to Redfern. Hunting down Craig in the Mercedes. They flow through turn 1. So the top 5 have yet to pit.
Definitely very interesting strategies, especially as being over a quarter of the way through. Might be saving it, however. Redfern building up again on Craig around these first turns here. Yeah. Not quite able to pull through, but definitely holding on his tail.
Yes, Mercedes versus McLaren. They got a GT4 just up ahead of them here.
Redfern actually just returning from what looks like to be a pit, so he does probably have the advantage on Craig. Does look like he's also running a bit faster, but we will see 0.2 second gap between the two of them.
So Hinman,
also, Waniger and Hinman going for a pit.
oh, it's that Alpine running very wide through there. So last lap around, Craig was a 57.4. As you pointed out, Zach, Redfern's just out of the pit, so I think he's one of the solo drivers. Carres is also hunting down Marlowe along the front straight here. Audi versus Porsche. They just move up a couple of spots as Hinman and Waniger are in the pits right now. This is the battle for 6th and 7th between these two.
Been really tight between the two of them as well the entire race. They've been in those group of 4.
Yeah.
Been very tight. Redfern looking like he's making the pass on Waniger because Waniger went to a pit. Same thing with Craig. I was holding tight to Marlowe, 5th and 6th place. Not anything interesting. Still the GT4s holding their positions as per earlier. Bit of a gap being made between Bradley and Foddy, and Lichten. Actually, Lichten went for a pit. Foddy does look like he's going to be taking first place here for just a little bit. Hopefully Lichten is able to get out of the pits before Bradley pulls up. He might be able to pull that off. Minute gap between the two as of now. Back up. Karish just making a pass on Marlowe. Looks like a little bit of contact going down. We'll see. Neck and neck between the two through the turn. Marlowe taking it out through the turn. Karish trying to set up another passing opportunity. Not quite able to get it through the outside. Almost a little bit of contact, but not quite. I was holding tight, almost about to get to the straight here. We'll see if any one of them is able to prevail through it. 0.4, 0.3 second gap down to the wire here, pulling out onto the straight. Does look like Santos just able to pass Rise. Santos absolutely blazing through these corners right now. Rise holding a 0.3 second gap to him. Car is still on the tail of Marlowe, however. 0.2 second gap there made through that first straight. Rise holding tight on Santos. The pit in the driver's view of Rise right now. See, a little bit wide through this corner. Vasquez making up some time down to 0.4. We got a yellow flag from Brown here, spinning out. I want to hop back to that replay. I don't know what happened there on Brown. See what happened here. Looks like he just spun out. Might have been a bit of oversteering. Not entirely sure. Also, he has made a pit, so it's probably not the tires, but we'll see. Still a little bit of stuttering from him. Rise building up on Santos again. Half-second gap between Rise and Santos. Vasquez, half-second gap between him and Rise. See what's happening. Cares also holding it tight on Marlowe. Looks like we have a yellow flag from Vasquez if we want to get that on the replay. Holding tight. Which looks like a little loss of traction control there. It's all right. Rise losing his gap back to his second here. The real battle happening here, and it's not much of one, a 0.5 second gap between the two, between Cares and Marlowe. Everything else on the track is really evened out. This looks like Cares has held on to his position. Just as a note, Cares is running a 0.1 or tenth of a second slower right now than Marlowe, but still holding that gap really firmly. Down to a 0.3 second. It does look like Cares does have a faster lap by a tenth of a second though, so he might be able to pull it through here at some point on Marlowe. Definitely evening out through the straights here. Gage Gonzalez actually closing it from a 4-second gap between him and Chen, now down to a 3-second gap. Looks like Cares was actually able to make that pass between him and Marlowe. Cares holding that gap as well, definitely able to stretch his legs a bit right now. Redfern also looking like he's trying to set it up with him and Craig. What are your thoughts so far?
This is good. I'm enjoying listening to you go, Zach. This is fun. I like this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm listening. Well. I'm still here. I'm listening. I'm just letting you do your thing right now.
Control. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that. Nice little gap going here between Redfern and Craig. Holding through. Does look like it's evening it out a little bit here. Almost halfway into the race. Only 15 seconds off, or 15 minutes off. My bad. Surprisingly, no yellow flags or pits recently. It's definitely a bit common in the first quarter there. Redfern holding tight with a half second. Down at the straight. This turn's definitely going to be a tell. Redfern is running a tenth of a second faster than Craig, so he might be able to pull through on this one, but we'll see. Not quite able to catch him on those corners, though. Does look like the track has evened out, though. We have a pit from Flores. Keys rising into 11th place. There's a 16-second gap between him and Waniger. Does look like Lloyd is also able to benefit from that as well. Flores slowly dropping. Does look like just an average of, I would say, about a 5-second gap between all the racers right now, with the only real competition happening on this raceway being between Redfern and Craig right now, but even that's at a 0.7.
And Gonzalez in the pits now as well.
Thank you for catching that.
That's all right. So Chen still leading this one. Smith in P3 right now. I don't think might have time. He might be able to take Gage here. So So Gage came in from P2. We had a drive-through penalty as well in all of that. That was Foddy in the 88. He has served that. Where's Gonzalez? He gets going. So Smith will remain in P3. Here comes Curran though. He's in 4th right now. That's the GT4 of I'm Not Jimmy. And Curran now hunting down Kenneth Smith. So Liam Curran, he's made 1 stop already. The 3 drivers ahead of him, Chen and Smith, have not yet made any stops yet. So Gonzalez makes his first. So Liam Curran looking to...
Might give him a bit of an advantage here in a second, especially as they have to go for it. And you shall see.
So Curran finished on the podium at Imola a couple of weeks ago. Looking to do the same here. He's in a good spot right now, just sitting behind the 777.
He's definitely setting himself up. Does look like he's prepping himself for a pass on Smith. Really tight racing between these two, down to a 1/10 of a second on the straight here. Neck and neck right now. Definitely building up for this corner. Looks like Curran might be able to pull out in front on this straight. He'll have the inside path if he does, and he is able to. Taking the inside, Smith dropping down to 4th place. Curran going to 3rd. Definitely looking to get himself on the podium. Gage Gonzalez definitely prevailing, however, with his pit stop. 48-second gap between him and Chen, but Chen has yet to pit. Looks like Smith is building back up to Curran, but not quite. Definitely losing grip a little bit. Kara's trying to see if he can use this as an opportunity to pass Smith. Battling, a bit of battling between 5th, 4th, and 3rd. Definitely a bunch of pressure occurring. Kara's really holding it to Smith. Back out onto the straight. No time gained so far. Into this turn. Does look like there's a bit of traffic here, though, in GT4. See how that plays out here in a moment. Kara's looking like he's able to make the pass with the traffic. Definitely taking advantage of that. And Kara's actually making the pass in the 4th place from Smith. Smith getting a little bit lagged behind the GT4. Actually, the GT4 is still ahead of all 3 of them. Kara's prevailing, looking to pull past here. Smith's still a little bit stuck, but finally making the pass on the GT4, trying to get himself back up to Kara's. Marlowe following suit right behind Smith. 0.3 second gap between the two. Definitely going to see if he can take advantage of that. Notably, Marlowe had a 1 second faster lap than Smith last lap. With Kara's with a 2 second faster lap. Smith is definitely going to have to gain some ground here. Marlowe holding steady on Smith. This looks like GT4 pulling off the track here. Marlowe getting stuck behind the GT4. A little bit of spin out, bit of contact it looks like between Smith here in the GT4. Smith dropping down to 6th place, spinning out a little bit more. See what happened there. Just a little bit of a nick there, yeah. Doesn't look like a massive hit, but definitely spin out to the tires.
So yeah, it's the second time we've seen GT4 was making contact with the GT3. So such a big pace disparity between the two as well. So easy to do, and yeah, that's cost Smith a bit of time there. So he's in P6. He's been monitoring Chen as well. So his last lap around was a 55.4. Gonzalez did a 54.8 on that last lap, and Chen yet to respond to the pit stop from Gonzalez, so the gap at 46 seconds right now. In terms of total pit stop time, Gonzalez, he was in there for a total of 44 seconds. So if Chen was to pit right now, it would be about 2.5 seconds the difference between Chen and Gonzalez by the time he gets out of the pits.
Right neck and neck again.
Yeah, so that little the little incident with Gonzalez earlier on that cost him the lead, looks like he's able to work his way back up into a position where he's going to be able to challenge once Chen has made his stop. And we've got Craig and Hinman battling it out for 7th and 8th right now with Redfern tucked in there. We're not
looks
far
like
away.
a more serious battle between Redford and Craig, actually. Half-second gap between the two of them. Redford building it up to a 0.4 second gap. Taking it just a bit faster on these corners here. Notably, Redfern was 1/3 of a second faster than Craig this last lap, so he might be able to pull through. 0.6 second gap between the two of them, but that doesn't look like it's going to stop Redfern by much. Craig definitely holding steady on Hinman, however. Second gap between the two of those. The race field again has settled back out. Redfern down to a 0.3 second gap. A little bit break there. It does look like we have a bit more GT4 traffic ahead. The GT4 traffic being licked in as a note. Redford still holding it down. Right neck and neck, right on the wing between these two. Craig taking the pass on Lichten. Redford trying to get around. Hinman building up on Smith right now. 0.2 second gap between the two. Hinman trying to take the inside, not quite getting it. Holding steady. Same thing with Redfern. Craig's sort of stuck in the middle of these two battles here. Hinman down to a 0.3 second gap, taking the straight right now. Looks like Hinman's able to hold steady, holding it firm at 0.3 seconds. See how it settles out by the end of the straight. Actually closing it to 0.2. Hinman delaying his braking just a tad. We'll see what's up with him and Smith. Down to 0.1. Hinman taking the inside and successfully taking the inside. Hinman pushed to the outside. Looks like he might even lose out a little bit. Redfern looks like he might be pulling almost the same trick. Looks like we have a yellow flag from Waniger that didn't last very long. 0.2 second gap between Craig and Smith, and then same with Redfern and Craig. So just neck and neck. Definitely a bunch of pressure between 7th through 9th place right now. Redford looking like he's going to try and take a pass. Same thing with Craig. Not quite getting there, though. Looks like we have a pit here from Smith, finally taking a pit. Notably, that is his first pit. Redford pulling ahead, closing the gap now to Craig. Actually, really well. Definitely driving a bit more aggressively than he was so tight. Craig definitely feeling the alleviated pressure, though. He's rising into 10th. Notably, all of the... I think we have a yellow flag from Troxel that didn't last very long. Notably, and from Foddy, just looks like a track out of bounds. Look, almost a little bit of contact there, down with Foddy, but not quite. Looks like Foddy is pulling off of track. Don't know why. Notably, all the Santos spinning out in the middle of the track, and Foddy staying off of it. Santos pulling off right now. Rise happily taking that pass. Not sure what happened there. As I've been trying to say, notably, the GT4s are all at about an average of a minute gap between all of them. Lichten still holding it firm on the GT4. Santos trying to build back up to Rise. I'm not entirely sure what happened with that yellow flag, though. race has settled out again. Looks like an average of a 4-second gap between everyone. Santos definitely trying to push Rise again.
Yeah, and Chen, he is lapping 56 flat that last trip around. Gonzalez at 55.3, and the gap between them right now is 45.2 seconds. So a 44-second total pit stop to Gonzalez on that last one around. So that would bring him out within 1.5 seconds. So continuing to close it down, lapping faster than Chen at this stage. So keep an eye on that battle as well.
Santos building it up on the straight here with Rise and taking the pass. See if he's able to hold it. He is. So Santos recovering after that yellow flag, that little spin out there. Looking like he's going to try and build it back up. Looks like we have again a little bit of traffic from Rustin. Rustin pulling to the side, letting these GT3 cars pull through. Rise looking like he wants his position back though. Again, settled back out for the race.
Looks like Jimmy's got a drive-through penalty as well there. That's Vasquez Barrentes. He picks up a penalty for track limits. And that's Gage Gonzalez making his pit stop as well. So this will be his second. So is Chen missing a bit of a trick here? We're almost at the halfway mark, and he's not yet stopped. This is an interesting strategy from Chen. He was a contrarian strategy though at Imola, so we trust that he knows exactly what he's doing. We don't question that at all. But the only driver, I believe, out on circuit that's not had a pit stop is Troxel has a drive-through, as does Vasquez Barrentes too. So a couple of penalties coming for track limits, which this track is fairly renowned for as well.
It's like a very fast pit from Gage though.
Yeah.
And he's back off.
Comes out in P7.
Which does look like he's really setting himself up really well.
Last lap from Chen, 55.6. That's Valentine with a little bit of damage.
Look like Gage. Yeah. Oh, Chen taking the pit finally. Gage looking to pass Craig here. Holding really tight. I absolutely love watching Gage build his way back up in first. It's a lot of fun to watch how he crushes these cars. Exactly what he's doing. Looks like he might be able to take him on the straight. He is definitely going to be able to clear by the end of the straight. Gage pulling through, only a 3-second gap between him and Hinman.
Long stop for Chen. Very long stop. So far at 56, 57. Ooh. So Gonzalez, both his stops for 44s. Yeah, Chen still in there right now. Liam Curran coming into the pits to make his stop. Chen a minute 5, so 21 seconds longer than Gonzalez.
And he still has another 2 pits to go. Yeah,
Marlowe and Curran making their second stops as well.
Just as a note for our podium, Kares has jumped up 4 places. Curran has jumped up 5. Hinman 5 as well. A bunch of really shifts from not lower, but a little bit down in the... Wouldn't know entirely how to say that, but definitely some good place gains for these racers. Yeah, Gage up to 4th place.
So I reckon Chen's next stop will be a lot quicker than what he did previously. So a minute 5, so 21 seconds longer. Waniger was a minute 5 on his last pit stop. Kenneth Smith a minute 7, so just trying to track some of the cars then, typical stop times. So all still to play for right now.
It's building up very, honestly, speedily to Hinman. Taking gauge with a bit of traffic on the straight, pulling through. I find it so impressive how much faster Gage is taking these straights compared to other GT3 cars. Definitely has his car configured for that.
Yeah, but definitely one of the fastest cars in the speed trap, 288 kilometers. 289 is the fastest, belonging to Lud Flores and the Lexus. That's no surprise there.
Not at all.
Where is the 14? Down in P12 right now. So Flores having a decent race. Where did he qualify? He qualified P17, so in 12th right now. Nice race so far from Lud Flores. And here's Gonzalez making his final stop.
Wow, halfway into the... I forgot to call it, but we are halfway into this race now.
That's Carres as well is in there. And that's Vasquez Barrentes. Is that a drive-through penalty for him though? Not too sure. But Gonzalez, we can't actually see him right now. There he is, making his stop. So over to Xu Chen, who has 2 more stops remaining. Lucas Keys, he's in 5th right now. He has 1 stop remaining as well, as does Liam Curran. So Gonzalez, Keys and Curran looking like they're in the box seat right now. The number, what is it, Carres as well, the 25 Audi. He's making his way out now. That's Lucas, that's Curran going through. So nice work there from Liam Curran.
Gage is making a pretty long pit stop right now. Just as a note.
Yeah, he's
going
out,
on to a minute.
Yeah, he's out and done now. So he comes out in P7, and now the only driver of the field who's actually completed all 3 mandatory pit stops. So he's got the green marker next to his name. He's got 57 minutes and 40 seconds now to make it home, and I think that's going to be pretty easy for him. So he's looking,
definitely.
Yeah, so he's looking box seat right now. Keys, Curran, Artem in the car now, who's taken over for Juan Carres. And then, so Chen, where is Chen? He's in P1. He's just continued around another lap. Hinman 23 seconds behind him, and then Redfern behind 5.6 seconds, and then Waniger. So
also,
yeah.
As a note, we do have Artem building up to Curran right now. A half-second gap between the 2 of them, just getting off the straight.
So this is unfolding very nicely right now. Xu Chen.
I have to agree.
Yeah, Xu Chen in the lead of this one, but yet to make, he needs to make 2 more stops. Gage Gonzalez, though, has made all 3, so he's looking like he's in the box seat right now. Him and Redfern and Waniger, they all need to make 2 more stops, as does Lloyd, Palin, Smith, Santos, Licton. Looks like most of the GT4s. Rustin's made 2 stops. He'll need to make 1 more, as Troxel serving a drive-through penalty right now. We're set up for another grandstand finish. As we were a couple of weeks ago, we had some penalties at the end that kind of robbed us of it, but
yes,
hopefully we don't see a repeat of that, as Palin making his way into the pits. Brown moves ahead into P9, and this race in a really nice position right now to set us up for a great 56 minutes in fact remaining in this one. Been a lot of fun so far. It's been good.
Oh, I have to agree with that. It's been a lot of fun to watch so far. Looks like Palin and Santos have both pitted. They are taking both of their second pits. Then we have Rides also following them. Inman and Chen still holding out with only 1 pit so far. Same with Waniger. Keys, following Waniger, has made 2 pits. Looks like Waniger is holding it a bit. Did lose it a bit to Redfern, which is interesting there. Look like Jimmy is actually back on racing. Looks like Brad must have pitted. Jimmy actually building up to Valentine right now. GT4 looks like a pass might even be made down in the GT4 field. Like you've said before, it's always interesting to see that different interior between the GT4 and GT3 cars. You noted upon that before. Hamlin and Santos out of pits. Rise not quite there yet, pulling out right now. And Brown now going in for a pit. Jimmy holding it very tightly to Valentine.
Keys in the pits now as well. I'm watching Jimmy.
Jimmy taking the pass there. Valentine.
So this is a crucial stop here for Lucas Keys. Now this will be his final stop of the race as well. There we go. And has he stopped yet? Still total time, so I think he's...
Like a hit from Lichten and Brown, so it looks like a large field of pit stops going on right now.
Yeah, so where does Keys come out? He comes out in P... Well, that's McCroat in the car for Craig. So Lucas Keys completed all 3 stops, is currently P8 right now. Gonzalez is 34 seconds behind. Has also completed his 3 stops. So Lucas Keys was one of the earliest pit stops, one of the earliest drivers to make his stops, and it's working out for him right now. And in fact, is Gonzalez ahead? Oh, Gonzalez is actually ahead. He's up there in P8. Sorry, my mistake. I was just watching the wrong timing screen. Santos is in the wars again. What's happened to him there? Let's see. Coming through, I think that's turn 8 by the looks of things, and then that back end just stepping around again. So easy to do at that part of the track. As we go back to live pictures very, very shortly. Here we go, and here's Keys hunting down McCroat, who wouldn't be too long in that Mercedes. So Craig done his stint already. Less than an hour to go in this one. Hinman and Redfern are in the pits. So Curran, Artem, and Brown, they need to make one more stop, and then Redfern, Hinman, Wanniger, and Chen. Hinman and Redfern, they're making their second stop now, so they'll need one more. And Wanniger and Chen, 2 more in 52 minutes. That's a big
Redford
ask.
and Hinman also going for pits, if that wasn't noted upon.
Yeah, no, I was just talking about that
like,
now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Palin building up to Lloyd right now. 0.3 second gap. Both of them currently on the straight. Gage Gonzalez up into 6th place.
Yep, so Hinman and Redfern completing their stops.
Palin really holding it to Lloyd right now. 0.3 second gap between the two of them. Going through these corners. I haven't noticed a lot of passing going through these corners. I've really only seen it on the straight or on the first corner.
Yeah, it's
not
pretty
strictly on the corners themselves.
Yeah, it's tough passing past turn 8. Turn 8, you often see a lot of passes happening, but then through turn 9, it's quite difficult. It's a very technical, twisty part of the track through 10, 11, 12, and 13, so you often don't get too much passing happening through that final sector.
I think this is actually our first time seeing Warren Wilcock on the field for Matt Redfern.
Yeah.
He's really holding it to McComber, who is now on the field for Liam Hinman.
On the track.
Like
the track. It's the track, not a field, it's a track.
Got it.
Track.
Sorry.
T-R-A-C-K, track.
Wilcock really holding it to McComber on the track. Crow also building up to Smith right now. Wilcock taking that pass. Comber looking, fighting back for it, but not quite getting there. Back to these turns, which you said very technical, so not quite able to hold, but definitely on tail.
Starting to compact a little bit the field, especially 8th, 9th, 10th.
Oh, definitely.
And then 12th and 13th. Comber did a 2, or that was just out of the pit. So Smith 56.1 compared to McCroke 55.6 on that previous lap. So McCroke definitely has the pace. Lucas Keys 56.3 on that previous lap as well. So Gonzalez, Keys, Flores, Rise and Brown all made their stops. All 3 stops are done. You see the sun starting to set now. 8:41 in game time. Truck has dropped 1 degree since starting. Still at optimum though. 22 degrees air and truck temperature. Slight little bit of wind, but nothing that's really going to bring any weather. Forecast looks good for the remainder of the race.
Yeah,
I think we're set up for a good one here. So Chen and Waniger. Chen and Waniger make 2 more stops, as does Smith and Jimmy and Trottle in there. So there'll be 1 more for him.
It does look like Gage is building up on ground now. McComber still holding it to Wilcock, but Wilcock able to take out that spacing.
So that's Brown.
Smith building up.
So that was Brown in the Porsche Famalo from earlier on.
It does look like Gage is about to make this pass here at some point. Now to these corners, probably do it on the straight like he's done most of his other passes. Does look like Smith is also building up to McComber. Same with McCrow.
So if you can get a good run out of here, there you go. I get short shift into 3rd, and then this is the key. You can nail that left hand. You can use all the curve there. You don't want to run out too wide there to get invalidated. Looks like you've got a good run. Let's see if you can make up a spot here on Brown. Oh, definitely seen.
I will have to say surely.
There we go.
Gage up into 5th place now.
Yeah, we've seen the Porsches just lacking for a bit of top end speed. Throughout the race, 283 kilometers is their top speed so far today. So quite a few
Gage
kilometers
holding
down.
288.
So Gonzalez 10 seconds behind Artem, and every car needs to pit ahead of him. So in the box seat right now, I reckon he'll be pretty motivated to try and take victory after what happened at Imola a couple of weeks ago.
100%.
Looks like he's on it right now. He's lapping in the 54s, mid 54s. That last lap around a 54.382. Only driver in the 54s. It's a very low 54 as well. Chen did a 54.6. In fact, that last lap around, but that was invalidated. So hopefully we don't see any penalties for track limits for the remainder of this one that influences the result as Smith makes his way into the pit. So pitting from P11. He's got 2 stops remaining, 1 after this one. So he's leaving his run a little bit late, as is Chen and Waniger. So Chen continues on for another lap around. What's the gap between Gonzalez and Chen? It's a minute 29. Chen still has 2 more stops to make. This is going to be super close here between Gonzalez and Chen at the end of this one. And McCroke in the car as well for Craig. 369 started in 5th, so they've dropped down 4 spots. They've got 1 more stop still to make. Wilcock in the 74 as well now. They started 11th. They're in P7. So they've made up some good spots. Who else? Curran started 7th, currently in 3rd. Does need to make 1 more stop though, as does Artem. yeah, this race.
Look like Palin is holding it up to Lloyd right now. Same with Flores. Smith actually just making a pass on Flores, but they're still neck and neck. Flores taking back that position. See what happens here. Palin losing a bit of that gap there, and Flores pulling ahead.
Yes, Flores able to get it done. You got Palin. Oh, is he? Oh, he's letting someone. It's the Ferrari of Waniga. He was letting through there. Palin. That's why he was slowing down.
Back to an even outfield. Looks like Vasquez actually got a yellow flag. See what happened here.
Yeah, turn one.
Looks like he was right out of the pits. Just went over those bumps wrong.
Yeah.
It's a pretty hard hit as well.
Yeah, the car can get a little bit light there through that that section of the track as you're sort of going up over the crest. It happened a little bit before it, so I might have made a mistake earlier in the corner there. So field relatively spread out, 43 minutes remaining. This is McCroke hunting down McComa, who's only just a tick over a second behind Wilcox. So this is for 7th, 8th and 9th outright. Drive-through penalty for Wilcox. So that is going to put a big dent in the number 74's race towards the end of this one. That's for track limits. And Flores has got one as well. So that looks like that's for track limits as well. I mentioned just a few minutes ago that I hope we don't see any more penalties for track limits, but this is going to be the time of the race that it will happen once they've built up over the last sort of hour and 20 minutes or so. And we just don't want to see the race decided like that. So fingers crossed Chen and Gonzalez have kept their noses clean.
That would definitely be the best case.
Palin and Lloyd swap positions, so Palin able to get through there.
See what's happening here. It looks like McComber is building up on Wilcock again. It's definitely been tight between these two. Holding steady through these corners. A bit wide there from McComber, but still absolutely wonderful. Gage closing it down to a 6-second gap from 7. And Lloyd also closing it down on Palin. 0.4 second gap there. Wing to wing. Waniger is actually in second with Palin and Lloyd trailing him.
Yeah, so that Waniger's in P2 right now, and so Lloyd is P12. So it looks like there's just a little bit of lap traffic going on at the moment. And here comes Curran for his final stop. So pitting out of P3. Where is he compared to Gonzalez? This is going to be super close between these two. And there goes Gonzalez. So it's not super close. Gonzalez is going to cruise through.
Oh, yeah.
Curran makes his stop. Keep an eye on that time, how long that lasts for.
McComber also holding really steady to Wilcock here, but it's been close to the past couple laps. Actually, McComber finally gaining. Wilcock going for pits.
Yeah, let's just serve that drive-through penalty for Wilcock. And there's Curran. So Curran's come out of the pits. And I think
Waniger, yellow flag, but he just ran off track.
Yeah.
Nothing major.
So I wonder if he's just struggling a little bit with tyres at the moment.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Definitely looks like it.
And Chen is in the pits as well. So our race leader makes his way into the pits. The gap was just over a minute between him and Gonzalez. Let's see if this is a quick, short, sharp one. His last one was over a minute.
Minute 05, I think.
Yeah.
See, and he's right back out.
Yeah. And what's going to be the
41 second.
And then the gap is 48 seconds, about 47 seconds between Chen and Gonzalez as Waniger makes his way into the pits. That's no surprise there. Looked like he was struggling.
Chen still has another pit that he needs to do. So that pretty much covers that.
Yeah, so 40
gap between Gonzalez and Chen.
Yeah, so it's a gap of 48 seconds between Chen and Gonzalez. And so that last pit stop total time was 40 seconds to Chen. So if he takes another stop like that, he's got Gonzalez covered right now, which would mean that that incident with, I think it was with Ruston a little while ago, is going to prove to be quite pivotal, almost race defining in terms of the time that it costs. And Chen was able to take the lead and has been unheated so far from then on in. So this will be this is going to be a very interesting finish between Gonzalez and Chen. It might be a little bit interesting in the chat afterwards as well.
Yes.
Between them. Waniger's still in the pits.
Yeah, just leaving them.
Yeah, he's all done.
McComber happily in 5th place, along with McCroat in 6th, Liam Curran in 7th. Rise is building up on Flores again, down in 15th and 16th place. Definitely been some pretty tight racing between the two of them so far.
Just trying to see where the 25 might shake out once they've made their stop. What was their last one? Minute 5. Yeah, they'd fall a fair way down if they take another stop that goes that long. Chen continues on. His last lap was a 54.235. Gonzalez, no, it wasn't. It was, sorry. I was looking at that was his fastest lap of the race. So Gonzalez did a 54.9 on that previous lap. Let's see, he's about to come across the line now.
See what happens.
And he laps in at a 54.6.
54.6.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
So Brown behind him is not going to challenge. We're watching McCroat here, though. So some good on-track action.
Just got a chat from Leon Hinman. It's McComer's actually first competitive race, and he's doing magnificent, I would have to say, if it's his first.
Yeah, holding it down right now.
He does have a bit of pressure from McCroat, though. Definitely holding him. We'll see if McComer's able to hold through. Very impressive performance, though.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic. Qualified P8 in P5 right now. Has one more stop to make, as does Brown ahead and McCroat behind him. There's Curran in the background with Lucas Keys. So the two Aston Martins just looming quite large there. They've both made their stops. I think it's going to be...
Otherwise, then McCroat and McComer looks like a very even playing field. McComer trying to hold on to his position. Still able to hold through these corners, actually, but going wide, not quite being able to hold. But also, McCroat went a little inside. Let's see who takes it out through the straight.
I think McCroat was just taking a little bit of evasive action there, just in case. BMW has a fair bit of toe, as does the Mercedes, so no real distinct advantage between the two. And that Mercedes has done that a lot so far in this race. Not looking particularly comfortable under brakes.
Ooh.
As
McComer just losing it there, right on the back.
Let's just have a look on the replay what happened here. Oh, the back end just slipping out, and he's trying to catch it, and then he flicked around. That's really disappointing at this stage of the race for him as well.
Yeah. He still has a chance, though. He's not completely left in the dust.
Yeah, so he'll probably,
especially with the starting position of 8th.
Yeah, so he's got another pit stop yet to make, so he'll probably make that now. In the meantime, though, Liam Curran, P3 from Imola, he is all over the back of McCroat right now. And the 2 cars ahead both need to pit, so he's looking like he's in a very strong position right now, as is Lucas Keys, who's just a little bit further back from Curran. So a couple of Aston Martins, P6 and P7. I think those two often race together as well when they do endurance stuff, so they'll be very familiar with one another. And that gap between Chen and Gonzalez right now is 48 seconds. So if he's able to make another 40-second pit stop, Chen, he's got this one in his clutches right now, but we're going to have to wait and see. Another 33, just over 33 and a half minutes left in this one, so the final quarter of the race still to go, which is a fair bit of time, so anything can happen in that last 33 minutes.
Oh, 100%.
I think we're in for a good finish here, though.
A lot happen.
Yeah.
Got Gage Gonzalez building up on Artem, actually. 0.7 gap there. Holding it tight again. Same thing with Kern holding it to McCroat. See how Gage plays this. Again, absolutely wonderful on putting pressure on Gage.
Yeah, he was 4 tenths faster on that last lap. Artem did a 55.7 compared to Gonzalez at 55.3, so 4 tenths the difference between these two. And I think that's the Ferrari of, I think that's Santos just up ahead with 177. Looks like Brown has gone around as well. What's happened here? Oh, big power slide. Almost caught it. Did well to manage to keep a hold of it as he did. Down there in P17. Oh, he's gone around again. So right at the last second. I was going to say he had the indicator blinking as well. As Curran now up the inside of McCroat, so he gets it done. Nice work there. That was a nice move from Curran. That was just through 3 and 4. So he moves up into P5, and then Gonzalez gets the job done on Matt Artem. Works his way up into P2. 46 seconds the gap between Chen and Gonzalez. He needs to get that down to at least 40 seconds to have a shot at taking the race victory here. As Artem hanging on, he needs to make another stop, as does Brown in the 5.49. They've had a good race though for the Flyboys entry, and then McCroat is going to try and hang on as much as he can to Liam Curran. But right now, Gage Gonzalez, his big mission is to close that 8-second gap. So it's 48 seconds. He needs to get it down to at least 40. Chen last lap around at 55.6. Gonzalez at 55.3, so he's going to need to ramp up the pace a lot more, and Chen's going to have to nail his pit stop to take victory. So this is all set up, looking really good. And then Liam Curran right now
looks for
in P3.
Really tight ending coming up here. Shall see.
Waniger having a look at Keys. Last lap around, Lucas Keys at 56 flat, Waniger 54.7. So
Gage
maybe
right back in second.
Yeah, so maybe Keys had some traffic on that last lap. What does he do this trip around? Waniger does a 54.9, Keys a 55.6, so 7 tenths faster on that previous lap. So Lucas Keys got a real battle on his hands right now. He's got to last another half an hour with the hard charging 7110 Ferrari. Waniger started in P3, so we know he's got the pace. It's going to be a real challenge for Lucas Keys as Lloyd goes around now. So another one spinning at turn 8 through signs. And that was Brown. So
I wonder if that's marbling, or wonder what that is.
I think that might have just been.
Especially with
distracted by Brown there.
Yeah.
Just broke his concentration. In the meantime, though,
Laniger building up on keys.
yeah. Track
Right
21.
back to the straight.
Yeah, track 21 degrees. So the in-game time of 9 p.m. It's still at optimum. See if it drops any further to affect track
Laniger
conditions.
flashing keys, looking to take that pass, and he does. Goes straight through. Takes it perfectly on the inside. Happily passing.
I think Keys knew that he was a bit of a sitting duck there, so he was voluntarily gave that up without too much fight. Live to fight another day. Bit of action in the pits. Palin, Lloyd in there as well.
Again, track evened out. Lloyd out of pits now. 11 seconds off of Rise. Overall, we do have a couple drivers now more that are done with their pit attempts. Notably, Gage, as we mentioned before, Liam Curran, Keys, Wilcock, Flores, Palin, Rise, Lloyd, Brown, Vasquez. And then the majority of the GT4s are all done with their pits. Chen, Artem, Brown, McCroat, Laniger, McComber, Sharpenberry, Santos, and 2 of the GT4s, including Jimmy, still need to pit. So that should mix up the placing here.
Yeah, still a lot to play out.
Oh yeah,
in this one. So this is Laniger putting the move on McCroat here. This is for P6. He gets that done nicely. So the 7110 on a charge. He was struggling with his tyres there before he came into the pit stop, and he's put on a new set, and he looks fresh as a daisy right now. So he's now in P6. He's less than 2 seconds behind Liam Curran, who's just up the road ahead of him right now. As you can see there, that's Licton in the GT4, so a little bit of lap traffic here to work his way past. Blue flags waving on the right hand side, goes around the outside, gets that all done, and he's going to continue to try and hunt down the Aston Martin of Liam Curran as McSharpenberry. We come to him doing some donuts. How did he get to that spot there? This looks like that's turn 5, I think. Oh no, it looks like it's the end of the lap.
like he just went a little bit too hard there.
Yeah.
And just quite get there. And again, we're evened out yet again.
Drive-through penalty, car number 2, track limits. That is Troxel down there in P23, the Alpine entry in the GT4s. And then keeping an eye on the battle out in front. So Chen, 47 seconds the gap between him and Gonzalez. Last lap around, identical times between Chen and Gonzalez. So we're 54.857 to Chen, to 54.857 to Gonzalez. So Chen has the pace to match Gonzalez, which I think would be quite frustrating for him at the moment, where if he pushes, then Chen responds, and Chen's able to just keep on modulating that pace and doing a fantastic job of holding on to the lead right now. And Waniger continues his late race charge as well. So he's 1.4 seconds now, the gap between him and Curran. Waniger does need to pit one more time though, so that is going to put a big dent in his race. And
surely.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit carried away there. I thought that he had stopped 3 times already. He's got one more to go still, so
Significant amount of 1 minute gaps building up here though. It'll be interesting to see how those carry out. 1/4 of the race left to go.
yeah. So that makes sense more from Keys before as well, where he let Waniger through. So that makes perfect sense from him. I wonder what Curran's going to do. So they lapped. Curran did a 56.352. That last one. What is this trip around? A 55.6 to a 55.2. So I wonder if we'll see Liam Curran just let Waniger through here. He needs to make one more stop, as does McCroat. I don't think McCroat is lapping. 55.7 from McCroat. So Liam Curran in the box seat. Got two almost faster cars behind him. The car that he's hunting down is Brown. Needs to make another stop as well. So Liam Curran looking good right now for possible another podium finish, which would make it 2 from 2 from him. Bit of an endurance specialist, Liam Curran.
Oh yeah.
And Wilcock in the pits now as well. And I think that's Chen in the background. It is. Here we go. This is the stop we've been waiting for. He's going to have to hit his marks.
What will happen?
The gap will continue to flow down. So this is where Gonzalez is on the track. Is it just going to be
I feel tense just watching it.
Or is it longer than his last one? I think it is.
Had a yellow flag, stopped in the middle.
Oh, here we go. So Chen's got it. So Gonzalez coming along the front straight now.
Ooh.
Chen making his way out. Gonzalez will have
6 seconds to get back.
And
so close.
He's got a pretty hefty gap. Yeah, 6 seconds, the difference, as he pointed out there. Yeah, between Gonzalez there. We can see him in the background there. Chen will be a little bit vulnerable at the early stages of this lap. But Gage Gonzalez has a gap of 6.3 seconds to make up on
actually
Chen.
5 seconds to make up, or coming down to 5 seconds at least. Good job.
He's going to have a bit of traffic to... Oh, no real traffic to deal with as well for Chen either. So he's timed this to absolute perfection. Waniger making his stop here. That'll be his final one. And then we've still got Artem and Brown to make their stops. Gap between Artem and Brown, 10 seconds, 28. What was that stop from? Yeah, Chen, 40-second stop. That last one. So same
timed
as his
it out perfectly.
Yeah, same as his previous one. He's a hard man to beat, Shu Chen. He is. Yeah, he is.
I would not want to race him personally.
Yeah, he has looked classy all the way. He's really thrown a big challenge at Gonzalez, who has to say though, we need to be fair though here, because he did have that incident with Ruston. So yeah, they've definitely gone punch for punch, which has been awesome to watch. So just a pity that they're not a little bit closer on track. Be nicer if it was 6/10 rather than 6 seconds. But here we are.
Hey, who knows?
Yeah, we're still
just a little bit of.
Yeah, Brown just.
Gonzalez there. Yeah.
Brown just needs to get out of the way here, and he does. Nice. So Santos and McSharpenberry. McSharpenberry going into the pits. Now, where did the 7-1-10 shake out?
Ninth.
Yeah, Waniger in P9. So he's made his stop. Santos, that's not for position here. That's Artem, who needs to make another stop, as does Brown in 3rd and 4th. So it looks like it's going to be a battle between Curran and Keys for the final podium spot. Yeah. With Artem, Brown and McCroat still to make their final stops. As McSharpenberry in there, completing his 3rd right now. And where did the 25 start? It started in P6. Their last pit stop time. Last pit stop time was 1:05. So if they go 1:05 again, yeah, they're going to fall probably down to 9th or 10th, somewhere down there. So they'll be hoping for a splash and dash, a Shu Chen style pit stop for 40 seconds. Keep them a little bit closer to that starting position of P6. And field really sort of settled right down. We should probably do a check-in on the... Do you want to give us a check-in on the GT for us?
Happily, let me get that organized. We currently have Zach Troxel in last place Curtis Rustin ahead of him, with Ryan Valentine ahead of him. Jimmy currently in second place for the GT4s, with Lucas Lichten still holding it very firmly in first. The gaps being between Lichten and Jimmy being a whole minute 17. Between Valentine and Jimmy is 30 seconds. Rustin and Valentine is also about 30 seconds. And Troxel and Rustin is again also about 30 seconds. So pretty even spread. It's always interesting to see how much larger the gaps are consistently in GT4, in my personal opinion. But also they do have the traffic to deal with, so it makes it really interesting going on down there.
Yeah, I think everyone should take a shot at doing a mixed class races at GT4 just to sort of experience and I think get a better understanding of what it's really like. In terms of gaps though, right now it's 5.8 seconds the gap between Chen and Gonzalez. Chen on that last lap around was a 54.927. Gonzalez was a 55.257. So 3/10
also
difference.
Down the field, I'd say an average about 15 seconds. But Comer having a yellow flag, but really just pit. Never mind.
Yep. And the gap now almost at 7 seconds between Chen and Gonzalez. So Chen has this one in his grips. It's going to be pretty tough to let go of right here. Comer in the pits.
Is actually currently running faster than Gage Gonzalez.
Yep.
Not commonly seen.
So Waniger moves up into P8. He's 46 seconds behind Lucas Keys. So P8 might be the best that Waniger can do. Unfortunately for him, he started P3. So he would have been liking his chances earlier on after qualifying, but with a tick under 18 minutes remaining, that's a lot of ground to make up on Lucas Keys.
Certainly.
McCroat, these guys are doing a good job, but yeah, the 369 still needs to pit. So that'll put a big dent in their race. Their last pit stop time was a minute 11. So that would drop them a fair way down the field, probably about sort of 9 or 10 spots. And then who else do we have out there? So Brown in the pits. Making the stop now. Drive-through penalty. Car number 1, that's Valentine, and car number 21 for track limits. That's Chris Rise. And Waniger had yellow next to his name, but he's all good. That's Lichten in the GT4 just up ahead of him. And so the 369 has pitted, as is Brown. He's done. McCroat continues on. Quick stop from them. Where's Waniger? So I don't think he's going to be able to get that spot. No, he isn't. So nice work from the boys from the Get Speed team, the 369 Mercedes entry. They started 5th, currently in P7 right now with 16 and a half minutes remaining. So not a bad effort for them, for he and his teammate, which is Caleb Craig, who started the race.
Does look like Rise and Valentine both have drive-through penalties currently.
Yeah, so Valentine serving his. That was for track limits. So we've seen a few of them today as well. The gap between Gonzalez and Chen now dropped to 4.8 seconds.
Yeah.
That last lap around. So the lap that Chen just did, a 55.1. Gonzalez a 54.4. So the battle might be on here as he just avoids Valentine, who's just come out of the pits from serving that drive-through penalty.
So more than possible.
So down to 5 seconds. I wonder if Chen might have had a little bit of traffic maybe, but that 55.1 still a pretty rapid lap, all things considered. So continues to track down further. Is that 4.9?
Wilcock being the closest gap between him and McCroner. Whole second gap, however.
Drive-through entry penalty being served. That's Chris Rise in the 21. Oh no, did he just pick that up? Or no, he's got another lap or so to tipped over the lap. That's why his name came up there. So he'll need to serve that. Still have 25 as well in the field, which is a fantastic effort. Starting with 26. Less than a quarter of an hour to go. And then Artem.
Gage holding on to that 5-second gap as well.
It's just extended out ever so slightly to 5.6. Chen, that last up at 55.1. We'll see if he drops into the 54s again. And then, yeah, the last car is
We'll see, he's coming around that last corner. We'll see how he takes this straight right off of it. Might be able to get it down to 54. Not quite. 155.1 from Chen. We'll see Gage also coming around. Pulling a 155.4. So Gage is running a bit slower right now.
Yeah, it's 0.3 difference on that last one. So we got a little bit excited there. We thought maybe. Oh, here we go. Here's the 25. So they're finally making their final stop. Liam Curran will be the main beneficiary here.
Yes.
Coming through 12 now. Yeah,
really late hit there from Artem.
Yeah, they ran their strap all the way to the edge. So Liam Curran, he will take away P3 very, very momentarily. And there you go. So he moves up into P3. Artem stops and drops. Lucas Keys goes through as well. And Artem is going to come out in P5, so pretty quick pit stop there, 39 seconds. And I think those boys, him and one car, will be pretty happy about that. They'll be sitting there P5. They started P6, so they've headed north. It's the direction that you want to be heading up the leaderboard. And they've got Brown behind them a fair way, so 10-second gap. So they're looking pretty comfortable right now for a top 5 finish. We've got Makoma and Wilcock doing battle. That's 9th and 10th. And the gap, once again, has closed. So down to 4.2
down to 4 seconds.
Yeah. So he's taking
that much more intense.
Yeah, so he's taking out some chunks right now, Gonzalez. This is going to go down to the wire, you would think, at 4 seconds. 3:10, so I think it's
12 minutes left.
Yeah, I think it's that first part of the lap. The first half of the lap seems to favour Gonzalez. There's a whole bunch of traffic going on here. One of those cars involved is Gonzalez. That's not Chen pulling out. And Gonzalez going to go through there. Yep, he does. Ooh. So I think Chen might have been experiencing some of this traffic as well, obviously. So
yeah.
Hence the gap coming down.
He does have a GT4 in front of him now.
Yeah. I wouldn't think that would cause too much issue, but it's more when you've got sort of 3 or 4 cars. Yeah. Can get a little bit hectic. And the gap's just extended back out to 4.3 now.
It's interesting they're almost on the same turn as each other. 2 or 3 turns behind, but still 4.4 seconds.
Yeah.
Looks like Wilcock is building up on the straight to McCollum.
So both these cars have completed all 3 stops. Track's still 21, Optimum, that GT4 just getting out of the way nicely there. Feels like this right-hander goes forever. Really hard sequence of corners through here as well.
Oh yeah. You just have to hold really hard on them.
Yeah, just really late apexes too. You want to get that apex nice and late there.
Pulling through. See what the times end up being between Chen and Gonzalez. Chen making a 155.3. 192 on the gauge, bringing it down to 155.15. 115. Yeah, actually, setting the best lap. Oh no, never mind. Read that wrong.
Yeah, so nothing in it between the leaders. Plenty of it in it right now between Macoma and Wilcock, though. They're battling it out for a top 10 finish with less than 10 minutes. Both cars have made all 3 stops. This is for a top 10 finish right now between these two. In terms of where they started, so Wilcock started 11th, Macoma started 8th. These are a couple of 2-driver teams. So Liam Hinman was the teammate of Noah Macoma, and Matt Redfern, the teammate of Warren Wilcock. Resume their battle down the Mistral Straight. You know that McLaren definitely has a fair bit of toe in it. He ducks out of the draft at the very last second. Go side by side. Looks like the BMW is just going to have the advantage here. It goes around the outside. That's the long way around. Runs nice and wide. This is great stuff between these two.
Oh, certainly. Love watching little battles and old rivalries build up throughout the race.
Yeah. A little bit of oversteer coming out of that previous corner, so his tyres might be starting to come to the end of their life. Wilcock in the 74 McLaren.
Hopefully he can hold it out just for these next 14 minutes.
Yeah, Macoma doing a great job here though. He's soaking up all the pressure. It's coming from behind. He's able to hold his own. There's the gap between Chen and Gonzalez was tracking below 4 seconds. Got 8 minutes left. So it's still at 4 seconds right now. Last lap of 54.9 to Chen, and 54.6 to Gonzalez. So 0.3 faster. But the gap remains at 4 seconds right now. So still a hefty gap to make up between Gonzalez and Chen. Chen has been the class driver of the field all day. Gonzalez has chased him hard. Obviously he had that little incident with Ruston, which has effectively had a pretty big impact on his race. It was an accident, so there was nothing intentional behind it, and that's sometimes this is what happens. So Curtis Ruston certainly not like
building
that.
up another pass. Be able to secure it though.
Can't quite get it done, so Macoma still able to hold him off here. Doing a great job. Less than 7 minutes remaining. These are the 2 closest cars on track. That's why we're tracking them. 3.4 seconds though the gap now between Gonzalez and Chen. So Gonzalez is not going to give this one up without a fight. Probably think there's maybe another 3 laps left, 4 maximum.
Yeah.
Two at the least, I would say.
It's closing it down to 3 seconds, though,
Yeah.
so he definitely has a chance.
Chen's about to cross the line at 55.1. 54.3 to Gonzalez on that previous one. See, Wilcock can somehow find a way past Macoma, who's done a great job making that BMW as wide as he possibly can. As I say that, it's going to go around the outside. It was good defensive positioning of the car for Macoma, and he's just lost out there. So Wilcock moves up into P9, and we can focus on this battle right now. There you can see it, the race leader just up ahead, the 117 of Shu Chen. 2.8 seconds the gap between them now. That's what it looks like on track. Both drivers got their lights on. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in this one.
See, track still at optimum though. See, Gonzalez down to 2.9, 2.8. See if he's able to hang on to it. Probably will.
It was 0.8 faster on that previous lap. Both had top speeds of 288 kilometres. Gonzalez is a lot later into his stint though, almost an hour into this stint, as opposed to Chen almost 20 minutes now. So definitely have the freshest set of tyres on there if he did change tyres.
And a 2.6.
Yeah.
Definitely possible.
Continues to claw away at it bit by bit by bit. He's going to have to take some pretty big chunks though. 2.8 seconds now. He'll be hoping for about another 3 laps here.
I'm just noting that it's very impressive that Gage is able to make up this much time even on tires that have been used for an hour compared to 20 minutes.
I think that just shows
very impressive with car control there.
Yeah. 55.2 to Chen on that last one, a 54.8 to Gonzalez. So still continues to claw back little bits of time. I want to try and get it a little chunk or two somewhere. That's Valentine in the Alpine and the GT4.
Gage is always giving us so much content.
Yeah.
So much fun.
So a little bit of understeer there coming out of 6. Now back to 3 seconds. The difference between the two. So Chen continuing to hold on to the lead here. Seconds to go. Probably, another 2 laps to go after this one, I would think. If I was a betting man, that's what I put my money on.
It's very intense moments here on the racetrack.
Some other battles for position. McSharpenberry and Lloyd down in 14th and 15th right now. So the Porsche driver just holding off the Lamborghini for now. They're the closest 2 cars on track. Back to the battle for the lead right now. Looks like that gap's holding 2.6, 2.5.
It's
right
so
now.
tense watching them both on screen together. Gage knowing that he's right there.
55.1 from Chen on that last lap, at 55.2 from Gonzalez. So Chen, as he's done all race, he's been able to respond when he needs to turn it up. He's been able to do it when he's been able to back off. He's been able to modulate his race perfectly. His pace has been phenomenal all day. These two have really tracked most of the day in the 54s. The 55s on that last one, but they've been the 2 drivers mainly in the 54s all day. And this is why these 2 are in the lead. Is Santos
closing it to 2.5, just flexing between 2.5 and 3 second gap.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it's entirely possible at this point, but probability is never 0.
Well, look, at this stage, it's going to take a big mistake or some kind of misfortune for Chen, which we do not want at all. Obviously, a straight fight to the very end. That's what we're getting.
Liam is very happily secured. Podium again.
Yeah, so Liam Curran, P3, Keys 4th behind him, 9 seconds down the road. So Curran, good point. He'll take P3 for the 2nd time in a row.
It's like we might have one more lap after this.
Yeah, I would think so. It'll be the final one. Sharkenberry and Lloyd still going at it. We'll get to the front of the field though. So 2.7, 2.8 right now. Let's see what they come out with. So that last lap, Chen was the 10th faster. Gaps at 3 seconds. So, those tyres are very worn right now. We saw him with a bit of understeer out of turn 5 and 6. Oh, he's got a pit. Oh, wow.
What? Certainly wasn't expecting that.
I was not expecting that as well.
Definitely.
So that means
getting the opportunity to almost go 2nd.
Yeah. So where's he coming through now? He's coming through turn 7. I don't think so. I think the gap's going to be too big. His tyres just must be absolutely cooked for Gonzalez. He was almost at an hour stint. What was it? 57 minutes.
Great in and out for Gage though.
So he's He's already underway.
Got this, Mr. Gonzalez.
So we are on the
Just
final
needs
lap.
to get out of that pit.
Yeah, we're on the final lap. Here comes Curran through the final turn. So it's not going to be enough.
Not quite now.
Yeah.
No, must feel Gage's racing style being so much happier with the fresh tires.
Yeah, so I wonder what just tyres must have been just absolutely done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much passing did he do in that hour?
Yeah, plenty. That's a good
Give
point.
him a beating.
Yeah, that's a really good point. He had to push super hard, and he's had to push pretty hard on all his stints as well. So, but this man here, Shu Chen, we really need to get his livery because he's out in front all the time, and it's always
Please send it over.
yeah, it's never fun not having someone's livery. So,
I mean, the blacked out look looks nice, but I think whatever he has looks even better.
well, Team Shumi skins usually have pretty bloody good liveries. So at 7 had low fuel, I think. So maybe it was a fuel issue for Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Not so much tyres as... Oh, it's a little bit of Morse code there from Jimmy. But Shu Chen is going to take 2 from 2. Congratulations. He took,
Absolutely wonderful job.
Yeah.
Pleasure watching him.
yeah, great driving once again. He takes victory. Congratulations. The 117 McLaren once again. Shu Chen, a class above. Awesome job to him. Congratulations. And he's taking, it's 2 from 2. Now, took victory at Imola. Takes victory at Paul Ricard. This man here, Gage Gonzalez. Yeah, that would make sense. So that last stop was just over 38 seconds. So a fuel issue potentially at the end there. Still takes home P2. Unfortunately, couldn't...
Sharpenberry looks like he might still have a pass possible with Lloyd. He's definitely catching up here. Bit of tension on the track.
Yeah, we'll just watch Gonzalez make his way through. Sharpenberry and Lloyd battling it out.
Oh. What a bit of impacts there at the very end.
We're watching Liam Curran. He takes home P3. He looks pretty happy with that. Congratulations, Liam Curran. 2 P3s
Wonderful job.
in a row. Tough field. Lucas Keys, his first race of the Mini Endurance Series. He comes home in P4, I believe. Gonzalez has already left the lobby. And Brown making his way across the line as well for P6.
Right there.
And then the 369.
No, P5.
Yeah, that's because Dingo's left the...
Okay.
Gonzalez has already left. McCrow in coming home. This will end up being 8th adjusted. So well done to him and Caleb Craig.
As well.
So after that, it was Macoma Flores. A good job from Lud Flores in the number 14 Lexus. Palin, Santos, Lloyd, McSharpenberry. Now it looks like Licton was the GT4 class winner, if I'm not mistaken, Zach.
Yeah. You are not mistaken.
Yeah, so him, I'm not Jimmy, and Bradley take home P2 in class, and Ryan Valentine 3rd in class as well. So that was fun. That 2 hours went by.
It's a wonderful race, yeah.
Yeah, pretty quick, but it was our race winner and P2 have already left the building, as you'd say, and Liam Curran there took home P3 as well. But congratulations to everyone. What were your thoughts,
Always a
Zach?
pleasure.
I had a lot of fun doing that one. That was good.
I did as well.
Yeah.
It was a really good race. And I did not get exhausted halfway through, which I'm very happy with.
That's a bit of a challenge for you being on that side of the planet. I'm just having a
Currently
look at...
11:30 p.m. over here.
That's not too bad.
Holding firm.
That's not too bad on a Saturday night.
Not at all.
Just having a look. So Flores up 10 spots. So he started 17th.
Wow.
Looks like he made up 10 spots. This is not all accurate because we've had some drivers leave. Looks like Palin had quite a... Rise started 15th. Lloyd started 14th. Rise looks like he made up 8 spots. I'm not too sure if that's all relevant right now. But... yeah, pretty much it was, once again, Shu Chen, Gage Gonzalez put on a fantastic show, P1 and P2.
As always.
Yes.
What else could I expect?
And then Gonzalez back in there. So, and then Liam Curran in P3, and it was Licton who took home the GT4 class win. Looks like he's still happy to keep floating around as well. So that is everything as far as the race goes today. Now I'm just trying to get a read on what is the next race that we're going to. I think it's a 90-minute race from memory.
9 minute?
90 minute, yeah.
Oh, 90 minute.
90 minutes, yeah. Just trying to work out.
Got me scared for a moment there.
Where was it?
Green light, show them what you got.
Just quickly see if I can pull it up. Hang on a second. Just trying to work it out. Where are we? I did see it on SimGrid the other day. 75 minutes. I'm not too sure. It's 90 minutes. It's somewhere. It's in a couple of weeks, so look out for it. We'll be doing the stream again, but I think maybe it's Suzuka. Maybe, I'm not too sure, but yeah, it'll be advertised through all the Discord with everyone. But yeah, thank you very much, Zach. A pleasure once again.
Being here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Have a
yeah. Thanks to everyone else as well. All right, we're out of here.